Welcome to Wise Canvas, where every story paints a lesson, and every lesson quietly changes the way you see life. Before we begin, let me ask you something. If someone offered you a single lesson today, a lesson that could save you from years of regret, would you listen? Because the man in today's story spent 35 years chasing success, only to discover that he had been running in the wrong direction all along. And when he finally understood the truth, everything changed. Stay with me until the end, because this lesson may become the most valuable thing you learn this year. Many years ago, in a small village surrounded by mountains, lived a young man named Ethan. Like many people, he believed happiness was waiting somewhere in the future. If I earn more money, I'll finally be happy. If I own a bigger house, I'll finally have peace. If people admire me, my life will finally matter. So every morning, before the sun rose, Ethan left home to work harder than everyone else. Years passed. His small house became a large one. His old bicycle became a beautiful car. His empty wallet became full. But something strange happened. The happier his life looked, the heavier his heart became. He slept less, smiled less, laughed less. Yet he kept telling himself, just one more achievement, then everything will be different. One autumn evening, while driving home, his expensive car suddenly broke down on a lonely country road. With no signal on his phone, he started walking. After nearly an hour, he saw a tiny wooden cabin beside a quiet lake. Outside sat an old man, calmly painting the sunset. There was no luxury, no expensive clothes, no signs of wealth. Yet, his face carried a peace Ethan had never seen before. The old man smiled. "You look tired." Ethan sighed. "I've spent my whole life chasing success, but somehow, I still feel empty." The old man didn't answer. Instead, he handed Ethan a small wooden bucket. "Come with me." Confused, Ethan followed. They reached a beautiful lake. The old man filled the bucket with water. Then, he poked a tiny hole in the bottom. Water slowly began dripping out. "Tell me, what happens if I keep trying to fill this bucket?" Ethan replied. "It will never stay full." The old man smiled. "Exactly. Most people spend their entire lives pouring success into a bucket full of holes. They earn more, but never feel enough. They own more, but never become content. They win everyone's approval, but lose themselves." Ethan stood silently. The old man looked toward the sunset. "The problem isn't that your bucket is empty. The problem is, you never repaired the holes," Ethan whispered. "What are those holes?" The old man smiled. "Comparison, fear, greed, constant worrying, living for other people's opinions. As long as those remain, nothing will ever feel enough." For the first time in years, Ethan wasn't thinking about money. He wasn't thinking about tomorrow. He simply watched the sunset. And strangely, he felt richer than he had in years. The next morning, he returned home. He still worked hard, but he no longer sacrificed his peace. He spent time with his family. He walked without checking his phone. He ate slowly. He thanked people more often. He compared himself less. Months later, his friends noticed something unusual. "You've changed. You smile more. What happened?" Ethan simply replied, "I stopped trying to fill the bucket and started repairing it." Ending lesson. Most people believe struggle ends when life gives them more. But real struggle ends when your mind finally learns. That peace is not something you find. It is something you protect. If you learn this before the age of 35, you'll save yourself years of unnecessary stress, endless comparison, and silent unhappiness. Because the richest person in the world is not the one who owns the most. It's the one who finally realizes enough can actually be enough. Thank you for spending these moments with Wise Canvas. Remember, every masterpiece begins with a single brushstroke, and every meaningful life begins with a single lesson. Until our next story, protect your peace, keep learning, and never stop painting a wiser life.